Beer. Oh, yeah? Well, so's your face. Stop touching my magic phone. Well, you're mistaken.
Vidka?
Hey,
You're really campaigning for Bitch of the Year, aren't you?
I swear, one of these times you're gonna wake up in a coma.
If we can focus, keep discipline, and not have quite as many mysterious deaths, Sunnydale is gonna rule!
Hey everybody, and welcome to episode 50 of GrrArghCast. We are the Buffy the Vampire Slayer recap podcast that brings you all of the reviews of all of the episodes of Buffy and Angel for newbies and for aficionados. And I did not write the intro in my notes. Again, this is like the 7th time. At this point, I'm just going to wing it every week. I am Brandon Ellison, and I am joined by...
Oh, me that way. Jewel Rocket Rose here, reporting for duty. Also, I'm rocking a hat today. I really am feeling myself, and it looks like I have a bob. I don't. It's all back here.
And we are joined, as always, by our stalwart producer / fact checker, BJ Kramer is here. Hi, BJ.
I am being particularly stalwart today.
Why did I never remember what that word means?
Just think BJ when you hear stalwart.
Like stoic and...
Reliable.
Yes.
Stoic and reliable.
Stoic and reliable. So before we start, we're going to do what we've been doing. We are going to talk about the things that we have read, seen, watched, partaken in this week. And let's start with BJ.
Nothing new. Nope. Same shows as last time. Discovery and... Mandalorian and Harley Quinn and Ozzy and I are still running through all the Harry Potters, and boy, are we going fast through it. We're somewhere through book 6 at this point.
Nice. So. Jewel, what have you been watching, reading, doing, seeing?
Obsessed with the flight attendant. Obsessed. Oh my God. Who knew Kaylee Cuoco could serve like that? Because she is amazing. I have only seen her in 8 Simple Rules and The Big Bang Theory, and she plays the dumb blonde so well, but she is a fabulous actress in Flight Attendant. I am loving every second of it. It's a book too, Brandon, so potentially I might read that maybe in the future.
I think we both know that's not going to happen.
No, it's not, but I will probably buy it and put it on my Kindle to read at a later date.
That is wonderful. I have been...
Was that you vibrating, Brandon? Was that how excited you were about my watching The Flight Attendant?
Yes, that's how excited I was. I'm actually hotspotting onto my phone because my internet connection. Turns out Albanian internet connection's not particularly reliable.
Brandon, who is surprised by that statement? Because
literally
it's not me.
Nobody. Literally nobody.
I don't know where Albania is on the map.
It's right above Greece.
It borders on the Adriatic.
Yeah. It's right above Greece.
Okay, because I thought it was definitely somewhere else. So that makes a little more sense to me, but it's like Greece adjacent.
So Italy is here. The heel of Italy is here, if you're thinking of the boot. So the heel, and then Albania is right across the Adriatic from it. And then,
is it considered Europe or Eastern Europe?
It is Europe. I mean, it's like Southern Europe. It's the Balkans. So it's not like Eastern Europe, at least as far as I'm concerned, is like Ukraine, Belarus, Moldova, even like Poland, Czech Republic. It's further west than Vienna is. It's further west than Athens is. It's
Was it behind the Iron Curtain?
It
sort of was, right?
Sort of. It was more like North Korea. It was part of its own thing. It was very insulated.
Did someone just rar me in this hat?
Someone just rarred you in your Blubberprint hat.
I think Albania is to Eastern Europe the way Florida is to the American South. It's like kind of.
Sort of, yeah. It's more of an Eastern European vibe.
I think comparing anything to Florida is just an insult beyond all measure.
That's true. That is cruel to Albania.
Yeah. It was a communist republic, but it was its own thing. It wasn't part of Yugoslavia. It wasn't part of the Eastern Bloc. It was its own thing. So Anyway, internet connection, not great. So that's hence the vibrating from my phone. But I will say, I have been
they're
watching.
saying Albania to you.
Okay.
Wow.
I have been watching the new series of The Stand on CBS All Access, and it is fabulous. And Whoopi Goldberg is amazing in it, and I love it.
Well, I read both versions of that book, including the 1,300-page unexpurgated version. Back in like whenever it was, college time. I read the first one in high school, and I loved The Stand, and therefore have been skeptical about filmed versions of it because the history has not been kind to the attempt at making a good The Stand. But you're saying it's worth going for, huh?
Yeah, I'm loving it so far. So I would check it out if I were you.
Right.
Also, I have begun watching the Catherine the Great series that everybody was recommending a few months ago, and I love it.
Do you?
Yep, I really love it.
Interesting.
Yep, you don't love it.
I don't know. Maybe it was just a timing issue for me.
All right, fair enough. Well, on today's show,
Can we just real quick, because it is Christmas this coming week. Christmas is a big deal in some houses. Are we also excited for Christmas real quick?
Yeah.
BJ, no one's excited for Christmas?
All right. So my birthday is December 26th.
Oh, that is the saddest day of the year.
And of course I grew up Jewish, so
it meant nothing at all.
Nothing. My birthday meant nothing. Hanukkah just happened usually. And
yeah, that's what I don't think most people understand. Hanukkah is actually a secondary holiday. It's not like a huge deal. Like it's a thing for Jews, but it's not like you get day offs work.
Correct. They all do it. They all take it seriously. They all get in on the fun, but it's
not like a day off. It's not a Yom Kippur. It's not a Rosh Hashanah. It's not even a Passover or really even a Sukkot moment.
Wow.
I feel like it
Digging
really has
there.
just, it has, I work at a temple now, BJ. I know so many more words.
I'm so proud of you, Joel.
Dude, I was before, like heavier on the ish, but I'm understanding more of it.
Will wants us to talk about the Hallmark movie, the KFC Hallmark movie where Mario Lopez plays Colonel Sanders.
Stop. Will. Oh my God, I'm in love with Will. I everything about Will is absolutely fucking perfect. The Hallmark movie with Mario Lopez wearing the KFC suit, brilliant casting. It's also horrific. I can't wait to watch it. It is set to my TiVo. I will have a major review. I think I might even do it just for our Patreon subscribers. I will give a full
We should watch it
rundown.
live. We should watch it live on Patreon.
What is this called?
Guys.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't remember what it's called. I set it to the Hallmark channel. It just does it for me. I can't remember. It's something someone knows about it.
And why do we expect this to be good?
It's not a good thing. It's about Mario Lopez as Colonel Sanders, dying to see it.
It's like a serious it's like a serious like it's satire, but it's presented as like a serious like love
This is
story.
not a
featuring
comedy.
Colonel Sanders.
Yeah.
It's gonna be awful.
Horrible.
All right. Well, let me know when you guys watch it. I'll see if I'm in the mood to join in.
Francie says today is her birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Francie.
birthday, Francie. Happy birthday to you.
So that is what we are doing this week. It is Christmas. I'm not doing anything for Christmas. I have a couple friends in town, so maybe we'll go get lunch. And that
Let
sort
me
of
do it
thing.
this way. Okay, you guys, this is what's happening in my house because I've been planning this for weeks. I can't even begin to tell you. So Prince Street Pizza, which I believe to be the holy grail of all pizzas within the States of the United. Okay. Prince Street Pizza from New York City. They have opened a Prince Street Pizza on Sunset Boulevard in Los Angeles. Praise be Jesus, all Adonai, all of the things. Buddha, let's get you in there for good measure. All the people. I'm so excited. So I am ordering Prince Street Pizza for my whole family. That is what we are having for Christmas Eve dinner. And then we are watching Gone with the Wind and My Fair Lady, and we're having a full sing-along. I cannot wait.
Gone with the Wind's like 6 hours long.
And every minute of it is torture.
As is My Fair Lady.
We will be watching my favorite Finnish Christmas horror film, Rare Exports, which is
That's
quite.
horrific.
It's quite a wonderful movie, and if you haven't seen it, just watch it and don't read anything about it. It's ridiculous and wonderful. Anyway,
okay, wait, real quick. Sorry, Brandon. I'm just, you know what? Whose Christmas do you vote for? Do you vote for my Christmas with Prince Street Pizza and sing-alongs, or Brandon's Christmas with horror movies and violence?
And probably pizza as well, frankly.
Also a different Albanian pizza with their special cheeses.
Yes.
My sons will be here for Christmas and my birthday and New Year's, and none of us have anything planned, and none of us will miss it. And I don't even expect my boys to recognize my birthday because they know I don't care. So,
BJ, I have to ask you a Jew thing. Did you know that like jelly donuts were a thing for Hanukkah?
Yes. Although
why am I had no idea.
Sufganiot. Yeah, I think this is a fairly recent thing in Jewish history.
Excuse me, Israel declared it the national food of Hanukkah.
Israel also considers bamba a vegetable. I don't know if you're familiar with this, but yeah.
Shut the peanut butter ones?
Peanut butter snack, yeah. I don't go too deep into what Israel makes official.
You know it.
Yeah. I believe the historical antecedent is fried foods in general.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank you. All right, now on to the episode of Buffy.
We are talking about 2 episodes of Buffy this week. It's a double Buffy week. We are talking about the Yoko Factor and Primeval. So these episodes kind of function as a 2-part season finale, even though there is one more episode. That episode is you kind of have to look at it as a bonus episode. It isn't really. It doesn't make sense in the context of the season unless you've seen the season already. I don't know. This is more like the closer of the season than what our next episode is. Jewel, you had a question?
I don't understand what you're saying.
Fair enough. Neither do I. Okay, so.
However, my last note is on scoring these 2 episodes is this felt like a season finale.
Correct.
Oh, so, it was, yeah. Okay.
The Yoko Factor is our first episode we will be discussing.
No.
But what?
Yoko. Oh, no.
Oh, I see. Buffy is even more certain of her love for Riley when Angel's surprise visit to Sunnydale brings Riley and Angel to blows. Meanwhile, Spike joins forces with Adam and devises a plan to tear the Slayer apart from her gang, leaving her wide open for her enemies to attack. So this episode and the next one are sort of the conclusion of this initiative storyline. Like the initiative, Riley, Adam, Professor Walsh storyline. And it couldn't have happened quicker, frankly. So the Colonel and this other guy are talking about the initiative and how they're going to get Riley back and how they're going to deal with Buffy. Spike is talking to Adam, and he's saying that Buffy's going to be a challenge, and he's killed 2 Slayers, but he can't kill Buffy. And now he has this chip in his head. He wants the chip out. So they're like, we'll separate Buffy from her friends so she comes at me alone, whatever. And Buffy returns from LA and her dorm room is empty. So, Xander and Riley are talking about how much they hate
Not
Angel.
Empty of stuff, empty of Riley, empty of a body, right?
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, okay. Because it sounded like, oh, she ran away again. And I was like, that's not what happened, Brandon. Not this time.
I know. It's hard to keep track of when Buffy is moody and decides to leave forever.
I'm just saying.
So this is a continuation of that episode of Buffy going to Angel's place and then the whole faith thing that we talked about last week. Do
you mean last week where I gave Angel an A?
And an A+ on the Angel scale.
An A+ on the Angel scale.
So Xander is talking to Riley about Angel and explaining, like, because Riley thinks that Riley and Buffy have had this great conversation about like their whole situation and the whole Angel thing and Buffy's past and whatever. That's what Xander thinks, and then Xander's all like, yeah, and also like Angel in his one moment of happiness, and And Riley didn't know that part.
Well, Xander made him say it too. Oh, sex with Buffy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's dramatic.
Yeah, it's a bit much. But also Xander's a bit much, so that makes sense.
It's unnecessary, Xander.
Giles is singing and playing guitar, and he's singing Behind Blue Eyes, I believe, right?
This time around? No, he's singing.
Yeah.
I don't know what the words
Oh,
are.
Freebird, sorry. Yeah, it's Behind Blue Eyes was last time. He's singing Freebird by Leonard Skinner.
I want an acoustic covers album by Giles. I want that whole album, and I would listen to it all the time.
Well, Tony had put out an album with the music. No, Freebird's not on it, but We Can Work It Out by the Beatles is on it. And it's called Music for Elevators, and it's kind of a weird, smooth, jazzy kind of thing, but it's quite good. And it's available on all streaming sites. It came out 20 years ago.
I'm looking it up on Wikipedia
I feel like I'm okay without it.
Yeah, you are. So Spike is talking to Giles about the files inside the initiative. And he's like, oh, Buffy doesn't respect you anymore. You don't have a job. You're unemployed. You're a loser, whatever. And Giles doesn't like that. Willow and Tara are playing with their new cat, Mr. Kitty Fantastico. And they're talking about their class schedule for the next year.
This stupid cat name.
Well, it was supposed to be a temporary name.
Stupid cat name.
Yeah. Willow hasn't talked with Buffy
yet
it. About their housing situation.
That's not my fault, BJ.
And she's not sure what she wants to do because things have changed so much in their relationship throughout the season. And that's really what this episode's about, too, is like how much the dynamic of that group has changed from the end of season 3 to the end of season 4. You know?
Meaning like the end of high school to the end of freshman year?
Yeah, because these people are very different people than they were at the end of the third season.
As we all were when we came back from college. I thought I was hot shit coming home from freshman year. I did I can't even. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah.
Who is that girl? She needs help.
Riley is tapped into the initiative and he knows everything that's going on with the operation. She tells Riley that Angel upset her when she went to LA, but she doesn't want to talk about it. There's contention there. Xander and Anya bring Spike some fatigues to wear, and there's a gun there, and he goes to try to shoot Xander, but his chip goes off because he can't hurt him, and then it turns out that it's not even a real gun. So,
which tells us, that the chip is basically going on his intentions.
Mm-hmm.
If he intended to hurt someone, it would cause his thing to go crazy, even if he couldn't actually do it.
Hurt someone good though, because he can still hurt demons. He can hurt bad things.
Correct. Yeah, you just can't hurt humans.
Yeah.
And Spike is telling him, you're not wanted. They don't need you. What do they actually need you for? Whatever. You're not useful. Buffy's
not like what Professor Walsh did to him.
Correct. Buffy's out patrolling. She runs into Forrest, who's also looking for Adam. They go into this cave. Adam shows up. They fight. Adam skewers Forrest. Buffy runs off. And then we see Spike going into Giles' place, and Giles is hammered, which is, I like drunk Giles. And Willow is trying to decrypt the discs. Spike realizes that Willow and Tara are in a relationship. And talks to Willow about the you're the computer thing. You're not so much good at anymore now that you have this whole like magic Wicca lesbian lifestyle. Oh, I did skip. Naomi just reminded me that when they shoot Adam with the taser gun, it actually like empowers him. It makes him stronger. He absorbs the energy from the taser gun.
Yeah, because he's electrical. He's electric. Like there's something's running off of some kind of like battery situation.
He's Adam. He's electric. Boogie, boogie, boogie. Nothing. Never mind. 3 people got that reference, and I believe BJ was one of them. So we're good.
I don't even know where I am right now.
Fair enough.
Where in the story are we? What has happened?
No, it's okay.
Finish the episode is what happens.
Yeah, Willow thinks that her friends aren't accepting of her relationship with Tara.
Everyone's having an emotional meltdown because they are the most important people in their own storylines. That is what's happening.
Yeah. Riley hears on the radio that there's trouble in the streets. He goes out and he sees Angel fighting
the streets,
fighting a couple of the commandos. and he fights Riley, and he beats the shit out of Riley, which is lovely.
Well, because Riley starts with him, like because
Exactly.
Angel wasn't participating, and he provoked the shit out of him.
I have a question, and I should know this, but why is Angel in Sunnydale? Anyone?
Wait.
Because of something with Buffy.
Yeah, no, I got that, but what thing with Buffy?
She goes to, okay, I think it's the Adam thing. Isn't he coming to, or no, he came for something. He got what he needed, and then he left.
If anyone watching this live knows why Angel was in Sunnydale in this episode, to apologize to Buffy, Alice says, but
that's what he said.
But
right.
Kind of, it was like to apologize, but he was there for some other purpose, I thought.
Frankly, she owes him the apology.
Yeah, she was very insert sexist term here.
Yeah, she was really rude. He came to apologize for what he said to her in LA, is what everybody's saying. And the fight they had on Angel with Faith was involved. I don't think that makes sense. He did not owe her an apology. She owed him an apology. She was awful to him.
However, that does make sense.
Well,
that he would blame himself. It's kind of his thing.
I disagree, Brandon. Per usual. No, I hate the red.
Anyway,
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Riley tries to use all the weapons that he has against Angel. Like I said, Angel beats the shit out of Riley, and they both run off when a military truck comes down the street. Buffy goes to her dorm. Buffy and Angel talk. Riley shows up, points a gun at Angel. They have their little thing, and Buffy and Angel go to the hallway, because Riley's like, I'm not leaving this room. It's stupid. Buffy goes off on Angel, and then they laugh when Angel says that he's there to make up for things. He says, I have no right to talk to you the way I talked to you before. That's right. Okay. This is all in my notes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
I remember that part. He was like, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk to you the way I did.
A phone call would have sufficed, but okay. And then Buffy's like, well, you're not entirely wrong. We're not part of each other's worlds anymore. I have barged in on you, whatever. And then Angel leaves, and he's like, by the way, that Riley guy, I don't like him. And Buffy laughs at his jealousy. Spike goes back to Adam. He says, I split up the Scooby Gang. We're good.
And then Adam's like, Spike, you're a doofus.
Exactly. And then Buffy and Riley make up and whatever. They say they love each other. She tells him that Forrest is dead, and he's upset about it. Everyone goes and meets at Giles' house. Buffy goes back to the cave to find Adam. And Giles gets more drunk and is talking about how Giles is getting more drunk and bitter and says that he's upset that Buffy doesn't need him anymore. Buffy says she's going to the cave alone. Willow and Xander take exception to this, and they're like, oh, you only need me around for my mental takes. You only need me around when you blah, 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 blah. And they're going off on Buffy about why she's doing this whole thing alone. And I love this part because Buffy puts them right in their fucking place. Buffy says, what exactly are you going to provide to this? What role do you have in me going in this cave and stopping Adam? And I think she's right. I mean, she
is. Yeah. For real. What? Xander, you're not an actual G.I. Joe. Willow, you scream. And Giles, you cry.
My note on this scene is addressing the Scooby's uselessness is long overdue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's been sticking out for a long time. Ooh, let's grab an axe and go get killed by a demon. You are woefully unprepared for this kind of thing. Just because you're friends with the Slayer does not make you impervious to getting impaled by things.
Uh-huh.
And I like the bit of Tara and Anya hiding in the bathroom to avoid the conversation, which is exactly what I would do. Whenever there's altercations at all, you'll find me hiding somewhere.
I am not that person.
I know, that's why I love you. I would hire you to fight for my battles for me.
Verbally, for sure.
So Willow talks about how much she doesn't like Xander and Anya's relationship. She says Buffy doesn't take her seriously. Xander says that Buffy and Willow forgot about him when they went to college. And he also then realizes that Willow and Tara are a couple, which is weird. I feel like we'd already established all this. that Willow and Tara were a couple, I feel like they all kind of knew already.
It makes sense that Xander would be a little late to that party because he's a little dim.
Yeah, true. Buffy storms off and tells everyone that she's going to go to someone she can count on. And then the episode ends in Adam's lair. Riley shows up, and that's the end of the episode. Before we get to our final thoughts on this episode, let's do a little bit of trivia. I have none, but I do have foreign language titles.
I have a trivia.
Okay, tell me.
Okay, do we know that the actor who played Forrest is in a very serious altercation or verbal situation with Allie Larder for her behavior on the Heroes set?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Leonard Roberts played her husband on the first series of Heroes, and he was supposed to be introduced in the pilot, and then it just got dragged out, and she was just like really rude to him and like kept trying to push his storyline back, and she didn't want to be intimate with him because she didn't like the way that the interracial relationship was shown on television, and yeah.
Allie Larder. Okay, well, I'm glad that her career didn't exactly take off.
She's in the Resident Evil movies. She's quite good in them.
Yeah, I remember, but Resident Evil movies.
But also, Brandon, I think we roll right into the next episode because I don't think you can grade them separately. I think
these are very different episodes. I do actually think we have to grade these separately.
No.
Okay, we won't.
I abstain.
But what I would like to do is talk about the foreign language titles. The Finnish title is Vaarallista elämää, or Dangerous Life. The Italian title is Il seme della discordia, or The Seed of Discord. That's all. That's pretty much all I got. The rest of them are all the Yoko factor in their particular languages. The funniest one being none of them, actually. So anyway, that's the end of the foreign language titles for this week. At Jules' command / request, we'll jump right into Primeval. I just don't
think they're separate. They're definitely one episode.
Okay, that's fine.
If they could do 2 hours, they would have back then.
We'll talk about Primeval now. Buffy's estrangement from her friends and Giles threatens to keep the group from stopping Adam's plan to design a master race of human-demon hybrids. Elsewhere, Riley is captured by Adam and learns that before Professor Walsh's death, she had implanted Riley with a chip that could destroy his power and bond him to Adam forever. But hey, Jewel, before we start talking about this one, I do think that the time has come for us to talk about, I think it's time for us to talk about Buzzsprout.
I love Buzzsprout. Brandon, take it away.
I wish I could, but I'm waiting for my copy to open on my computer.
You want me to
so
do
why
your
don't you take it away? Go for it.
We did a lot of research into podcasting services when we decided to launch GrrArghCast. Buzzsprout is by far the easiest and most convenient way to get your podcast live. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch, promote, and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. And you don't need a fancy audio equipment to get the ball rolling, just a microphone, some headphones, and a motherfucking dream. And when you are ready to upgrade, Buzzsprout has tons of guides to help you find better equipment at the best prices. You'll get a great looking podcast website, audio players that you can drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, and tools to promote your episodes, and more. Buzzsprout believes that podcasting should be accessible to everyone and that their easy to use website takes all of that shitty guesswork out of recording, posting, promoting, and monetizing your podcast. Join 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their messages out to the world. Use the link in our show notes to sign up or go to GrrArghCast.buzzsprout.com for more information. Remember to use the link so Buzzsprout knows that GrrArghCast sent you and you'll receive a free $25 Amazon gift card. Brandon, if you get one, I get it for reading that whole thing. GrrArgh, bitches. GrrArgh, bitches.
My Microsoft Word just decided to crash, so none of my copy for my ads is coming up. So let's just go on to Primeval.
Hang on, I gotta interrupt for a second because you didn't do any trivia, and there's actually some interesting trivia on this episode, courtesy of IMDb, which is lazy of me. But what are you gonna do?
BJ, stand down. I've got to finish Run the Runway.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. Brandon was, he said we're going on the next episode, and I was going to interrupt that.
Jewel, if you want to do all of Rent the Runway, you're also welcome to go for it.
I'm going for it because Mama needs us.
Oh, I also like to say
money.
before we do that, we have another new sponsor joining us next week that we'll be talking about very shortly.
Please tell me it's the Buffy mattress sheets.
It may or may not be.
Yes. Who needs a closet full of clothes when you can rent the runway? With Rent the Runway, women don't have to spend thousands of dollars to fill up their closets with the latest fashion. Subscribe. You can edit this out, right?
Yes.
Subscribe to Rent the Runway to get today.
Go ahead.
Should I start from the top?
No, go ahead. There's a reason we pre-recorded these.
With Rent the... Where am I? Subscribe to Rent the Runway to get today's hottest looks for no additional cost. Rent the Runway is changing the way we do fashion. No longer do you have to schlep to the nearest boutique clothing store, deal with the crowd, spend thousands of dollars on clothes that may or may not fit, only to realize you hate the dress you just bought. Rent the Runway empowers women by allowing them to rent unlimited designer clothes for a low monthly membership cost.
Rent the Runway features clothes and accessories from over 700 of today's top designers, including Adidas, Halston, Coach, Marc Jacobs, Cecily Bastion, Gucci, Christian Siriano, and Vera Wang. Hashtag
Wang
Wang
gang.
Gang. Rent the Runway is not going to send you a box full of random stuff. You pick the styles you actually want. Whether you want new items delivered to your door every week or you're looking for a monthly wardrobe pick-me-up, what and how you rent is entirely up to you. All items will arrive dry cleaned, sterilized, and ready to wear in a reusable garment bag, COVID-free. Use the link provided in the show notes to sign up, and you'll get $30 off your first order. What? Don't shop for fashion. Rent that runway. All right. Well, that was a mess. Let's go to our next episode.
My God, you guys don't know how hard. Like, it's a lot of copy.
I already read the synopsis for our next episode. BJ, just give us the trivia at the end of this one.
Okay.
So Buffy goes looking for Riley at the ruins of Sunnydale High School, which is where we've seen them hiding out before. But she doesn't realize that he's in Adam's lair. And Adam is talking to Riley and calling him brother and talking about this chip that's in his chest that he can control Riley's actions, etc. And that Adam says that Professor Walsh wanted for them to be part of a master race that's better than demons and humans.
I'm sorry, what?
Spike comes in demanding that his chip is removed. Adam says that you have to bring Buffy into the initiative before we can fulfill that deal. We're going to have Buffy kill as many demons as possible because they need the demon parts to sew together to make super demon things. Superhuman
demon fighter defensors.
Yes, my favorite 90s cartoon. Superhuman demon fighter defensors. Spike says that he separated Buffy from her friends, and now he just has to wait until she decodes the disc, until Willow just decodes the discs. And then Adam's like, how is Willow going to pass on this information if she and Buffy aren't talking? And Spike is like, yes, I fucked up. Let me go fix this. Willow and Tara go to Giles.
Whoopsie doodle. I'll be back.
Yeah. Willow and Tara go over to Giles' house. Giles is hungover as hell. Buffy is alone in her dorm room looking at an old picture of her and Xander and Willow in high school. And then she gets her weapons together for the battle against Adam. Over in Xander's basement, Anya arrives and Xander's in bed naked and depressed. And she says, you can't go outside naked. There's stuff going on. And she tells Xander that it doesn't matter what his friends think. She knows that he's a good person and she loves him. And this is, I believe, the first time that she said, I love you to Xander. So this is a big episode for them. Buffy goes to the cave where Adam killed Forrest and finds Adam's lair, but Adam isn't there. Adam leads Riley into a secret area of the initiative. Riley sees Professor Walsh all reanimated zombie-like, and Dr. Engelman, the doctor who he killed as well. And he tells Riley that his fate is much greater than the two of these. And we see Forrest back to life, and he's like in the body of a yellow demon, but he's got his human face. And he's
partial.
looking, yeah. And it's really bad makeup, actually, for being completely honest. And he declares that he's looking forward to using his new powers against Buffy. Buffy runs into Spike in the cave. So Spike is in Adam's lair, and Buffy runs into him, and Spike is talking about like, you guys had a falling out, but you should concentrate on decoding the discs. It's really important, whatever. And Buffy knows that Spike wasn't around to know that they had a falling out. So she's like putting things together in her head. And then all of a sudden,
all of this,
the discs begin decoding themselves, and it shows out all the information about the room 314 and the things that are going on in it, and etc. Which is something that Adam wanted them to know, because Adam wants them to storm in, because he wants Buffy to storm in because it guarantees that there will be maximum casualties. Exactly. Yeah. Buffy, Willow, Giles, and Xander meet in the middle of UC Sunnydale, and they all realize that Spike is the one that instigated the battle, which is very funny. Anya and Tara decide to stay out of the way in this, which I never really understood. They seem like they could have been really useful in this episode, but I guess we had to see.
I feel like they couldn't be useful yet because they don't know how to fight yet. They haven't been training with the Scoobies long enough. I feel like there's an initiation period. Like, you have to be a pledge first, and then you make it in. Like, there is work to be done. I don't think they're official gang members yet.
I think I would rather have Tara on my team than Xander.
No.
Tara at least has witchcraft. Xander has nothing.
Xander was a G.I. Joe in 2 episodes.
Inexplicably.
He knows how to, he can lift things. You gotta have a dude around sometimes for like women have more leg strength than men do, and men have more upper body strength.
Xander is suicidally brave, and it really is his own.
Thank you, BJ. That too.
Yeah, fair enough.
But he's suicidally brave. I mean, he's brave in ways that are not going to help.
I just sneezed, you guys. I don't have the COVID, though.
If you did, you're over there.
Buffy realizes that Adam is probably too powerful to actually be afraid of her at all. So we're back in the initiative lab. Riley's in the chair. He's going to have an operation. And Forrest tells him that Professor Walsh is just a zombie, basically.
Because he's like, Professor Walsh, dude. And why do Adam and Forrest now both call her mommy?
It's weird. I don't like it.
Not okay. For shame, writers of this episode. For shame. At least Riley kept it, normal with Dr. Walsh.
Mother is bad. Mommy would have been much, much worse.
I don't love it.
That.
Yeah. Professor Walsh injects him with a clear liquid. We're back at Giles' house, and the Scoobies are trying to figure out how to defeat Adam. They know that it's his core inside of his chest that they have to destroy in order to kill him.
Which they got from Jonathan.
Right. Yes, correct. In the episode Superstar, my A+ episode. Willow suggests that they should cast a spell to paralyze Adam, but it has to be recited in Sumerian in close proximity to the subject of the paralyzation. Xander says that they'll have to combine with Buffy, and she'll have Slayer strength and speed, the magic expertise of Willow, the linguistic skills of Giles. And Giles is like, that's a very good idea. So they put the spell together where they all can join into Buffy's body to fight Adam. It's a very dangerous spell. So they have to make sure that they have the right setup for it. It has to be a place that's isolated but still close enough, and they won't be interrupted. They rappel down into the initiative. Buffy and Willow have a little chat about apologizing about how things have gone, whatever, and they're trying to make things up to each other.
As they rappel down an elevator shaft.
Did either of you ever see the old Batman TV series?
Yes, that's what it looked like.
That's what it looked like, and I was expecting Dick Van Dyke to poke his head out at some point and make banter with them. Do you not remember this?
I do.
I do. I mean, even I saw it in reruns. It's very, very old. Topical reference.
Xander follows them down, and they all hug Xander and tell him that they love him when they land, whatever. And they're happy to be together again. It's great. They open the doors and the soldiers are there, and they get detained, and Adam and Spike are watching them on TV as they're being dragged through the initiative. Adam is pissed off that Buffy's friends are there, and Spike is like, hey, I did my best. And Adam's like, okay, well, we'll get your chip out, take his head off. And Forrest grabs Spike by the neck, and Spike puts out his cigarette on Forrest's eye until Forrest releases him, and then Spike runs away.
Did you get the impression that Adam was always going to double cross Spike and tear his head?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was
And
like,
Spike
Spike, why?
got that
Why are you
impression.
there?
Well,
Yes. So
Because,
Buffy,
like, have we noticed the chip placement? If Spike's is in his brain, in his head, how does that come out as easily as Riley having it in his side pectoral fat?
yeah,
Well, it's
attached
a different
to
kind of
was it
thing.
thoracic nerve or something?
Yeah, which Dr. Alice said that she has thoughts on the thoracic nerve. I guess she's going to tell us here in the comments very soon.
Please,
Dr.
Dr.
Alice.
I thought she was going to be on the show to tell us.
I was thinking if there's something attached to a nerve enough that it can control your behavior, simply tearing it off that nerve probably cause some damage.
You would think.
Yeah.
In the control room, Buffy tells the Colonel what's happening, that he's planning an attack, whatever. And the Colonel's like, you people are insane. And then all the power goes down. And then we see Adam open the containment unit so all the demons get out. There's huge fight. Everybody's fighting. They find a room that's near the secret lab. And they decide to go and hide out there. And then they barricade the door. First of all, we see Spike fighting the demons out in the hallway, which is great. Spike has decided to fight. Yeah. And Xander is like, you shouldn't go in alone. And Buffy's like, I won't be, which I thought it was cheesy and wonderful. So they start doing the spell. Adam is Buffy finds Riley. He can't talk, he can't move, he can't do anything.
He can look at her and he like does things with his eyes, but he can't move his body.
Right. Forrest and Professor Walsh and the doctor are trying to kill Buffy. Forrest and Buffy fight, and then Riley uses like some broken glass to cut his chip out to save Buffy from being cut into little pieces.
Because even though he's like supposed to be frozen, he's fighting against it with his inner goodness, and then just slices it out of him, out of his like little side fat that hangs over your bra.
Yeah. Buffy. Okay, we already talked about that. Yada yada yada.
Every girl knows what I'm talking about. No one in this podcast did, but every girl knows what I'm talking about.
What size bra does Riley wear?
I mean, obviously, he's like a definite B cup.
At least, right?
Mm-hmm. Like he's got some pecs on him. Like he's not just a little curvature. He's definitely got some angulation.
I think we have distracted Brandon.
And for anyone who doesn't follow Mark Blugas on Instagram, I highly recommend it because he has aged very well.
He sure has.
Yes. In the other room, Willow, Xander, and Giles are doing the spell. Okay, I already said that. And Riley pulls those tubes out of Walsh and Engelman, so they die again.
Like right out of the front of them, he was like, "Unplug, out of here,"
and it's over. But Riley and Forrest are fighting. Buffy runs off to fight Adam. Riley and Forrest fight is stupid. He lifts the tank over his head. The tank explodes. He's dead. Fine. Who cares? I'm so happy that character's gone.
And it says flammable on it very clearly.
Correct.
So we all knew as soon as he picked it up, that was getting blown up.
Yes.
Why did it blow up?
Because it was getting hot.
There was like an open flame up there that something had fallen down or sparked or something.
So Riley like twisted something and then handed it over, and so it was leaking, and then
yeah, it was as dumb as I thought it was. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it was.
Brandon has wiring issues.
Oh,
have
you become unwired, Brandon? Was it just too hot?
It was too hot. Hot damn. So Buffy and Adam are fighting, and she breaks off his pokey, sticky arm thing. She's like, "Got your arm," and he's like,
snap.
"Yeah." He's like, "Got another," and his arm becomes a machine gun, a Gatling gun, and he opens fire.
I've made upgrades.
Yes. And she dies behind a computer console. It's so stupid. And she dies behind a computer console, and then the spell finishes, and we see all of this like power rush into Buffy's body. Buffy rises up from the rubble of the exploded console, and her eyes are yellow, and she's speaking Sumerian. And Adam starts firing at her, but the bullets just dissolve. And then he shoots like a rocket at her, and she does this cool thing with her hand, a Jedi mind trick thing, and it becomes a dove and flies away. and she beats the ever-loving shit out of Adam. She rips his power core out of his chest. She floats it in the air with her magic powers, and then it just kind of poofs away. And then she falls on the ground. And I like the voiceovers in this is all four of the actors' voices, which is quite, yeah, which I quite liked. And Riley comes in just as Adam finally dies. We see the gang confront Spike about Spike wants all this like worship for helping fight the demons, and Giles is like, yeah, I mean, it would have been better if you didn't set us up for failure. And he's like, all right, well, and he's like, I think you just don't want us to
Beggars
stake you.
can't be choosers, Giles. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. And then we see a debriefing, and
in like the Pentagon or something.
Yeah, and the guys like there was 40% casualties. It would have been worse if these outsiders and interlopers hadn't intervened.
Civilians
and interlopers, yeah. We need to
the mission is scrapped. We are done here.
Yeah, we are done. Fill the place with concrete and salt the earth. Burn it down and salt the earth.
Dr. Walsh, great idea. Didn't work.
Exactly.
Bye.
There was a similar scene at the end of the Bourne Ultimatum, I think, the third one, where they also were like, oh, yeah, that project, failed project, bury it, goodbye, move on.
Quick question, now that we have wrapped the episode, quick question. Did The Matrix come out before or after this show?
Before, but only by like 2 years.
Okay.
Because that effect of stopping the bullets?
I felt like there was a bit of Matrixiness going on. I felt like there was a few different things in there. Actually, I was watching it with my brother David, and David was like, is this before or after The Matrix? Because we couldn't figure out when it was. It was made in 97, but Matrix it had just come out. Thank you, Nick. So they definitely borrowed some. Joss was inspired by The Matrix, I'm thinking.
This episode was in 2000, I believe.
Yes, and The Matrix was 98 or 99.
So it was made in 2000.
Yeah.
Okay, Hulu lied.
Yeah. So that's what happened. So a little bit of trivia. Buffy's that's funny. This trivia says Buffy's performance of the spell that protects her from Adam's bullets is reminiscent from Neo stopping bullets coming in his direction in the film The Matrix.
And I didn't even watch The Matrix. I've only seen parodies of it.
Yeah. Adam has frequently been compared to the Terminator. In that film, the titular cyborg makes its first kill by punching through the chest of an LA punk. Yes, who is played by Buffy alumni Brian Thompson, who played the judge, the blue thing that Buffy explodes with the rocket launcher in the movie The Terminator. It means the title character.
That's
the Terminator.
Not a great title. That's not a great moniker.
And Buffy does the same thing to Adam in this episode.
Jewel, the bar trivia I used to go to in New York, Trivial Dispute. If you're in New York, best bar trivia. At one time throughout the night, the host would say the word titular. And the first person to yell the word titular back at him would get a free shot.
Titular!
Exactly. I cannot not think of yelling the word titular when I hear it.
I've never heard that word before.
And the other thing about this episode is it feels very Cabin in the Woodsy, especially the bit when all the demons are released in the initiative.
Best scene in Cabin in the Woods.
Yes. Which Jewel has not watched yet.
No.
Okay. And finally, our foreign language titles. We have some good ones here. The Finnish title is Alkusumu, or Initial Fog. The French title is Phase Finale, Final Phase.
Nope.
The German title is Das letzte Gefecht, or The Last Stand. The Hungarian title is Osero, or Ancient Force. The Italian title is Forza Primordial, or Primordial Force.
Where are the good ones?
I guess that's it, actually. The rest are all just Primeval in different languages.
These were not great ones for these two episodes, Brandon. Both of them were not good.
I agree. The Germans have really dropped the ball in this one.
I think most of the countries have dropped the ball in their titles.
Yes. Okay, so our final thoughts and our letter rating for these two episodes. Let's start with BJ.
Oh boy, lots of thoughts. Okay, I really like the line where Spike tells him that he's like Tony Robbins, and he's like,
I think that's a tremendous insult to
well,
anyone.
he says like Tony Robbins. You're like a big Frankenstein. Okay, you're Tony Robbins,
Yeah.
which I just loved so
You're
much.
exactly like Tony Robbins.
You're exactly like Tony Robbins. Riley was really grossed out by Buffy and Angel having great sex, and screw you, Riley. Too bad. 9 minutes and 10 seconds in, the boom mic is visible in widescreen. Spike microwaves that bag of blood for 30 seconds, and come on, that bag would definitely explode, right?
No.
30
seconds
seconds in the
I
microwave?
think is fair.
For an airtight blood bag?
What if it's a low wattage microwave?
All right, fair enough.
What if he didn't put it on full power? Because mine, you can adjust the power.
Okay. There's a moment in Buffy's dorm room where she goes to there's a knock at the door and she goes to answer it, and I'm like, oh, that's Riley. And you know how I know that is because there's a big poster. It says chocolate on her room door in the back, and the camera was focused up at the top at the word chocolate, and he's like a foot and a half taller than Buffy. So like for the camera to be angled that high up, it's got to be Riley on the other side of the door.
Wow,
And
BJ, that is
yes.
that is an astute observation.
This is I've been watching
closely.
just too much. There was one outdoor scene in this where Buffy and Forrest run into each other, and that was rare. They absolutely could have done it on a soundstage. Don't know why. I did like Angel and Buffy saying "you're hurt" and like "you're hurt," and Buffy says "I'll live," and Angel doesn't reply because he can't say "I'll live."
Well, I think the point was that he wants her to live and like have a life.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But I just like there was a back and forth.
Yeah.
That in normal circumstances one would say, okay, whatever. He can't say.
I feel like he should have said, "I hope so."
Yeah.
Yeah, I want you to. I want you to have an amazing existence. Just because we can't be together, I still want you to love your life, bitch. That's what I think he should have said.
That scene in the hallway between them with Riley still in the bedroom was really well done and directed differently. It was shot a little differently than usual, but it was written well above normal. Okay, Buffy says to Riley, "Have I ever given you a reason not to trust me?" And remember, what Riley's going to think is like, "Oh, how about the time you came into my room and had sex with me, but really there was a different consciousness inside your body?" I think that would give somebody trust issues. I think reasonably. So I think it was really out of line for Buffy to complain about that. Also, not okay for Buffy to talk relationship stuff with Riley and then be like, "Oh, and your best friend's dead." Oops, that was out of line.
Yeah, sidebarring that, maybe not the smartest thing.
And I did really like Spike as Iago. I thought that was a role well suited to him. Oh, sorry, I'm talking a lot, but there's another episode to get through real quick. The Willow and Giles scene where Giles is all hungover, really awkward, really well done. When Forrest awakens on the gurney, and I guess it's Riley who says, "Oh God," Forrest says, "God has nothing to do with it." And I was like, I know that line. And I Googled that line of text, and it all comes up from a movie, The Count of Monte Cristo, which I saw and I liked. But that's
love that movie. Oh,
but that's from 2002.
Greatest movie. If anytime that is on, I will stop everything and watch it.
So if anybody knows where that line came from prior to this episode, because Count of Monte Cristo was later, I wonder why it sounded so familiar to me.
Well, The Count of Monte Cristo is a book.
Originally, yeah.
Yeah, so that's where it came from because the movie is the book.
Well, I don't know if that line is in the book, but anyway, yeah, that's got Juju
I have read the book.
as the lead in it. Anyway,
Yes,
I really did like the line of doing sit-ups at Fort Dix, which is just brilliant. Specifically,
and then Giles laughs at it.
All right, what is your letter grade?
Okay, hang on. Okay, first of all, Riley's got a chip in him, and yet he goes on the run from the initiative. They control the chip. You think they would have used
Adam
right?
activates it. Adam activates it when Riley.
Yeah,
like Adam activates it and makes Riley go to the initiative.
In
When
that
Riley
episode.
Wait,
Riley
how does Adam activate the chip in a way that the initiative couldn't?
because he has access to it because Professor Walsh programmed him to.
So only
And when-
Adam is supposed to access.
And
the
when
ship.
Riley yeets out of the room during the conversation with Buffy, that's where he goes.
Well,
And it's
also
because
Dr.
Adam
Welch is
activated
dead,
it.
so no one has access to that ship because like it died with her.
Got
So
it.
Adam has it because Adam knows everything Dr. Welch knows.
Okay. One of the funniest things I thought in this was Adam instructs his zombies to kill Buffy, and they come at her with like a little bone circular saw, like that surgeons use to cut through bones, which has got to be the messiest way to kill somebody. By the time you get through to death, there's going to be gallons of blood splattered everywhere. And it struck me as like, really? Like, you want this? That's a lot of cleanup on aisle 9. I don't know why they would want to kill her that way. That's, of course, where my mind goes. And that's all
And
of
that's
my
the letter grade. So what
gloomy
is it?
comments. I gave the first part a B+ and the second part an A-. I thought that they together were wonderful, and despite not having that much particular greatness, although Giles playing guitar, and according to trivia, he played the guitar in Freebird, where he actually did not play it on Behind Blue Eyes, although he sang for both. Yeah, not a lot of individual things to call out as being great, but both episodes together really worked very, very well. So B+, A-.
Jewel.
These are my 2 favorite episodes of Buffy that I've seen yet. So I'm giving a full A+ to both of these episodes as a singular. I thought it was genius. I thought it was so funny and stupid, and I think it knew it was stupid, and it was just like, let's go whole hog. I thought it was just highs, lows. I was interested the whole time. This was my favorite 2-parter yet. Sorry.
That's fine.
You're shocked. I know. It was my favorite.
I really am. Okay, so the reason I like these, that I wanted to review these as 2 separate episodes, because I love the Yoko factor. I love Spike pulling everybody's strings and whatever, which is continued in the second episode, but I think it works better in the first one. I hate the initiative. I hate Riley. I hate this whole storyline. I'm so happy it's over.
Same, but I loved it. I thought it was a great end to a bullshit storyline.
Yeah. If you're going to have a terrible storyline, finishing it up solid.
I like the... I mean, Spike is the MVP of these episodes, for sure.
Right. And even then, I think a little underused. Spike could have hammed it up a little more. I felt that in general, in the second half of this season, Spike was underutilized.
Yes. So I'm going to say, if this were the season finale, this would be my least favorite of all of the Buffy season finales. But this is not the season finale. And I am going to give this a C-. It is the end of a season that I hate. It is the end of a storyline that I hate. I'm so happy all these characters are gone, that Adam is gone, that Maggie Walsh is gone. I can't wait for Riley to leave. I greatly dislike this season and these episodes. And I'm happy it's almost over, though the next episode I really love. So yes, I'm going to go C-, and I think I'm being a bit generous. I'm probably more of a D+, if we're being honest. So
I mean, you have lost your mind.
That is my opinion.
Superstar to me was trash in comparison to this.
That's fine. Before we go, we do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/GrrArghCast. We will have exclusive content, extended interviews, and access to our private Facebook group. It's $5 a month. We post all kinds of fun stuff in that private Facebook group, and we are so happy to have you guys watching every week. We will be changing a couple things. We're going to go on hiatus after we finish season 1 of Angel, season 4 of Buffy. We're going to go on a hiatus for 1 or 2 weeks and revamp a few things and get some guests booked and that sort of thing. And we'll be back, and there's going to be a couple little changes to our layout that you're going to want to be a Patreon subscriber for. If you want to keep getting the content that you've been getting. So that is what I have to say about that. Jewel and BJ, it's, as always, lovely to do the show with you. And happy holidays to everybody.
Oh, happy the holidays.
If you care about those sorts of things. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye,
It's my birthday next week. You can send me presents.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
On the 26th.
Arg.
Grr. Arg.